Hey y'all, I wanted to come to you today with an episode of In Full Bloom for September. I can't believe that it is fall here and we're actually experiencing a little bit of fall. For fall here in Zone 8B Georgia means that the nights have a chance to get a little bit cooler. Instead of in the 70s, we get to dip down into the 60s and if we're lucky the 50s, but then it rebounds back into the 80s typically and can be quite warm. Even next week's supposed to be in the 90s and feel like summertime again. So you just never know what you're going to get. It's not a true fall, but I am very thankful for the little bit of respite we get whenever it does have a little less humidity and some lower temperatures. But anyways, I wasn't going to do an In Full Bloom for this month because we're working on our fall planting project. But I decided that there's so many things because of the coolness that have kind of come back to life after a rough summer that I just wanted to show y'all what all we had and make a document of what's blooming and what's not. So I hope you'll follow along with me as we talk about the plants that are in full bloom. These are annuals, of course. These are my urns, and the Diamond Frost Euphorbia is loving the cooler weather. I have some purple Angelonia that's trying to pop back through, and then this is like a Kufia or Mexican heather here at the bottom that has filled out nicely here within the past few weeks as well. Below it we have the Surefire white begonias, and then we have a Kaleidoscope Abelia, all in full bloom and looking marvelous. So this is kind of my favorite part of the garden right now. I have a weeping Japanese maple. And this is Supertunia Vista Jazzberry alongside the Kaleidoscope Abelia on this side, Pancake Arborvitae. And the Jazzberry, y'all, it looks great still. It's a little rough around the edges because, well, it's fall time. It's September. These got put in April, I believe. And they're just a little tired. They got a lot of sun. But y'all, this Abelia, I wanted to stop right here. And I may come back this evening and try to get a little less harsh sun to show y'all. Beautiful. I mean, y'all, this is so gorgeous. Look at all the blooms. I mean, there are just so many. And these pink calyxes. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. And they're just all over. Love, love, love this plant. If you are looking for a 4-season plant, this is it. And it's evergreen as well. I will say that it is supposed to get some variegation on it, and I don't know if it just gets too much sun, but a lot of the leaves are kind of washed out or a little burnt, and so the variegation is not as distinct as you would maybe want it to be. Back here more towards some shade, there's no variegation. So it's just not that happy medium between getting enough sun and getting too much shade. But the blooms and the color is really magnificent. This is Unplugged white Salvia from Proven Winners. It's supposed to be an annual, but I'm hoping it's going to be a perennial. Y'all haven't deadheaded it. It's not on irrigation. Of course, there's some drip around it, but not close enough to be for these particular plants. And the bees love it. I think this is 5 plants, and it has just filled in very nicely. This is Night Embers Sedum. It's trying to put on probably the last of its blooms. We moved some of it. This particular plant we did not move. But the ones around it we did, and so they're struggling a little bit. And y'all, this Beyond Midnight Caryopteris, I told y'all it has gone back and forth between struggling and coming back and struggling and coming back. It is definitely a tough little plant that has really beautiful blooms if it can survive. I'm so hoping. We've taken them all out but this one, so I'm hoping that it will be able to hang tight with whatever's going on with it, and next year maybe have a better show. But I just can't believe that it's even blooming right now. As you can see, it sent up some new growth. Back here we have some pink Gara. Again, we've been moving things around, so this one we didn't move, and so it's doing great, but the other ones around it, not so great. And y'all, this is the Pearl Glam Beauty Berry. Everybody's showing off their beauty berry this time of year. I'm not sure what happened. I think it's got spider mites. Not really sure, but at the top, all of the berries are very dried, almost non-existent. And you can see like a little, sorry, it's a little windy today. Let me grab it. It's showing up more colorful on the screen than they are in real life. They're very, very small and have kind of like, they have dirt licking all over them. The Joe Pye weed is pretty much done. I just wanted y'all to see what it looks like when it's done blooming. It has like kind of this rusty brown seed head left on it that some people may find to be very pretty. We leave it for a little bit, but eventually we will cut it back. You can see back in the back there's one little new bloom on it that has some additional color. The pollinators are still trying to get the most out of it. And our Powwow White that we cut back has rebloomed. Of course, it's a lot smaller in stature than it was at the beginning of the season, but that's okay. All of the plants seem to have new blooms on them, which is so encouraging to see. Alright, so this is the front of the border, and I decided to shoot it from this angle. This is our Nepeta, is the closest to me. Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. It's got a few blooms on it. And then behind it is the Magic Show White Wands Veronica, and behind that is the Pink Perfusion Salvia, all proven winter plants. But this is kind of the rock star of my garden. Typically it is the non-stop blooming, pollinator attracting plants that I have here, and I love the way that it looks. This is the Julia Child Rose Standard. It has put on some new blooms. I was gonna cut it back more, y'all, but this main, and you can see it now, it has lost all of its leaves at the bottom where it had some fungal issues. It's turned loose of the leaves, which makes it actually look a little bit better. Do y'all see that one cane right there? That is the one that goes all the way to the top, and it's so big that I can't cut it back. I don't know. I'm afraid if I cut it back that I'm going to damage the plant in some way since it's so far along in the season. So it's a little lopsided, but that's okay. I just want it to be healthy. And this is Echinacea purpurea. Y'all grew these from seed, and they are actually blooming here in the first year. Only one plant. I think there's 7 plants altogether. But I don't know what it is about having something that you grew from seed bloom that makes you feel like such a gardener. And I need all the help that I can get nowadays. But it's so pretty. I'm very excited. We are going to have to move this though. It is very much in part sun, part shade. And I'm making room for a camellia that I got. If you haven't seen my previous videos on that. And this is Puckster Amethyst. Y'all, look how much better this plant is looking than when we were struggling with it with the stink bug that it had the infestation of. Y'all, I still have these stink bugs showing up all over the garden. I saw them on my roses earlier today, which, like I said, it's just so annoying that they don't seem to have a preference, so you can't really eradicate them because they pop up somewhere else. But as sad as these little Puckster amethyst butterfly bushes still kind of look, if you would have seen them before, you would be as thrilled as I am to see their recovery happening. all the new growth in there. And like I said, I'm hoping by the end of the season that maybe they'll be fully recovered. We'll see. Last time I showed y'all this wedding gown hydrangea, it had started to get a little pink around the edges, and I was so thrilled by that because we typically don't get color on our hydrangeas in this area. This is a macrophylla hydrangea, and y'all, the color has only deepened and is more spectacular than it was before. And if you live up in areas where this is a common occurrence, you may be rolling your eyes, but it is just so perfection for me to see. This is our incredible hydrangea that's in the part shade area, so it's still, the blooms don't really have much burn on them, neither do the leaves, whereas our one that's up in the shade, I cut off all the blooms, so that's the reason why I'm not showing it to you, and the leaves have fungal issues. And here is the, I think it's I can't remember, Jazzberry Sedum. Most of it's passed over, but a few of them are still showing pretty pink colors. Sorry for the chainsaw action happening. Like I said, our neighborhood, there's just always something going on. The Gomphrena is starting to pass over, go to seed. Some of them look better than others. This area, I'm pretty sure, has spider mites that I have been battling in other plants. But some of these still look really good, especially if you get a little further back in the flower bed. This grouping here, you can see the Indian Summer Rudbeckia. I grew the Indian Summer Rudbeckia, and this is the Audrey Gomphrena mix from Johnny Seeds. I grew them all from seed. Y'all, I'm loving the Gomphrena. I've never, like I said, grown any of these things, and they have just, I haven't fertilized them, I haven't cut them back. They have just looked fabulous all season long. And in front of it, getting taken over by the Gomphrena, is a Radiance Abelia. It's a little more demure than the Kaleidoscope in the landscape, but the blooms are just as beautiful. This is Blue Fortune Agastache that I bought as a plant. I would say they're pretty much gone over, but the pollinators typically are still on them. I said it's a little windy today, so there's not as many pollinators out as have been the past few days. And y'all, this area that I'm fixing to show y'all just looks absolutely terrible. I'm guessing it's spider mites, and they have totally just riddled this area. It was, I guess, and still is phlox. Every year the phlox has had a problem, so I don't know if we'll continue to try to make it work or what. But even the Gara, which as y'all know is like one of the tougher plants out there, is looking really sad. The Mona Lavender in the pot here just never seemed to have a chance, but the Lemon Coral Sedum, on the other hand, is totally rocking it. Such a great plant. So even though there's some blooms going on, nothing looks very pretty through here. This is Puckster Blue butterfly bush. And again, it's kind of like the other ones, the amethyst. They've struggled and are just trying so hard to just survive, it seems like. And this is little lavender candy butterfly bush back through here. And y'all have laughed about this, is the Pinky Winky Hydrangea. And all the blooms are gone over except for, there's one right at the top. I've joked with my husband, I said it's like the star on top of the Christmas tree. And from far away, it just absolutely glows. Some Blue Fortune Agastache. And the bees are on it because it's in the sun, probably putting off its beautiful perfume. And I wanted y'all to see the pugster butterfly bushes from the ground. As you can see, their ankles are naked from all the ravishing that's happened. And like I said, I'm not sure. A couple of them, there's a lot of dead stems happening. But if you look really close, some of the other stems are putting on a few leaves. That gives you some hope. Speaking of hope, this is an encore azalea. It's angel something. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. We have one bloom happening. These encore azaleas just haven't really done for us like we would have hoped, but I had to show y'all there is a little bit of a bloom. It's not in full bloom, but hopefully next month that'll give us something to look forward to. But you can guarantee it, if this thing comes into bloom, oh, here's a couple of more. If this thing comes into full bloom, I will hop out here and at least put a short out or something to catch it while it's blooming, because we've only seen it with a few blooms on it at a time. And this is double scoop bubblegum echinacea. We moved one of them to make room for some fresh sedum that I'll show y'all in another video. It is not liking that we moved it. Our lone plant for this episode of In Full Bloom that y'all haven't seen in full bloom before is Autumn Joy Sedum. It makes such a great impact in the garden when planted in mass. So I hope y'all have something like that in your garden, especially for this late season interest. I've talked to y'all before, it's hard to find things. If you live in a warm climate that has an early start, this time of the year, everything's pretty much gone over. So it's so nice to have something that you haven't seen that adds such a great pop of color. And I've shown y'all these multiple times. We moved them. They were underneath our maple tree and weren't doing very well because they had an infestation of whitefly. And so I cut them back. They look great from afar, but if you look close, a lot of the foliage and blooms are on the ends of these really leggy plants. But since it wasn't really putting on new leaves at the base, I decided to just leave it and just let it do its thing for this season. And these are marginal perennial for our area, and so I'm hoping that they will come back. This is Augusta lavender heliotrope. I will show you, this is the one plant that had foliage happening at the base. So that's one plant, but all of this right here, let me show, the stem for it is over here. So that's what I'm talking about. And this is a new plant. It was in a pot and we put it in the ground. This is Color Wheel Stokesea aster, and it's got a little bloom happening. These blooms are supposed to change colors, but they really haven't stayed on the stem long enough to do that. They've kind of popped up like you see, and then they have kind of gone away. I'm assuming that's just because it's the first year, and with all that we have going on, it probably is struggling a little bit with some bug issues as well. So hopefully we'll see a better show of it next year, and I'm hoping to get some more of these. I went back to get some and the grower was out, so I'm hoping next year that I'll be able to get more. Here's another example of the splayed out. So there's the main area of the plant, but the blooms are over here in the foliage and up here and to the side. But from far away, you really can't tell any of that. And this, and I missed it because I kept waiting for some other things to show more color, but our Atlas roses, y'all, I talked to y'all about this before too, that I wasn't sure if I was going to keep them, but spring and come fall, they're just beautiful. And they've gotten healthy leaves back on the plants, which makes them look more like the shrubs that I expect for them to be, and they are blooming daily. The green stalk wasn't immune to all of the bug issues that we've had this year, but I did refill it just recently with a few new herbs. This is some oregano I grew from seed that seems to be fleshing back out. I've cut it back. I think this is holy basil. I think this is some oregano. It had some issues. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It may be a sage. I don't have a name for that one. But my peppers did nothing. But I still have hope because, well, they're blooming still. There's a little bloom. Happening. We took it apart again, and guess what, y'all? We found slugs all in there again. This is Thai basil. Coleus I cut back. This was the New York City lights. It's done so well. Surprisingly, it was the thing that I didn't think would make it. This is some ageratum that I cut back. Some parsley. Some chives that I grew from seed. This is some thyme, English thyme. I had some summer thyme. I think that's still somewhat alive. This English thyme's not looking great. But y'all, look at this. As y'all can tell, I like the purple in this I think it's razzleberry planter. It's an ornamental pepper. So I'm not sure if the peppers are gonna be colorful, but the leaves and the flowers are so pretty. I'm gonna try to grow the spinach and lettuce again when it gets a little bit cooler. Well, there it is, all that we have going on. It's not as much as we've had other months, but I don't know, that sedum is just so beautiful that it's worth the wait. If you like this content, please give us a like and subscribe to Fixin to Garden, and we'll hope to see y'all real soon.